Ever scrolled through phone deals online and thought, okay, what's the catch? You know, those phones that seem almost too good to be true for the price.
Yeah, you see those all the time.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into one of those, the BLU G63.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one.
It's making waves for offering some pretty impressive specs for under $100.
Really? Wow.
Right. We're talking a massive 6.8-inch screen, claims of a 3-day battery life.
3 days.
I mean, come on, 3 days!
on a single charge.
All wrapped up in a design that doesn't scream budget phone.
That's wild. What's the catch?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. Can it actually deliver?
Okay, let's find out.
Let's start with that screen. 6.8 inches is huge, especially at this price.
Yeah, that's bigger than most phones.
If you're someone who watches a lot of videos on the go, or maybe you like having a bigger display for reading, this could be a game changer.
I could see that.
Now, it's not the absolute sharpest resolution out there.
Oh.
So you might notice some details aren't as crisp compared to those super expensive phones.
So it's a trade-off.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Great for casual browsing, enjoying your favorite shows, and scrolling through social media.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you need pixel-perfect detail for things like photo editing, you might notice the difference.
So it's all about what you need it for.
It's all about picking the right tool for the job, right?
Sure.
But speaking of features that sound almost too good to be true, let's talk about that battery life.
Oh yeah, the 3-day battery.
They're claiming this thing can last for 3 days on a single charge. I mean, I'm lucky if my current phone makes it through a full day.
Same here. I'm always searching for an outlet.
Well, they aren't wrong about the battery size.
Really?
The BLU G63 boasts a 5,000 mAh battery,
5,000.
which is even bigger than some of those flagship phones that cost 5 times as much.
Wow, that's impressive.
We actually found a user review from a guy named Michael,
Oh,
and
wow.
he raved about getting a full day of use, no problem.
That's good to know.
Of course, he wasn't playing nonstop games or anything.
Makes sense. That would drain any battery.
Okay, so maybe 3 days is pushing it for power users?
Yeah, probably a bit optimistic.
But even if it gets you through a solid day and a half, that's still pretty impressive.
Definitely. That's still way better than most.
So what about the actual performance?
Aside from the battery.
I mean, it's not going to replace my gaming rig, but can it handle everyday tasks without feeling sluggish?
Yeah, I'd want to know that too. Yeah, no, for everyday use, it should hold up just fine.
Okay.
We're talking smooth scrolling through social media, checking emails, even light gaming.
So nothing too crazy.
Right, nothing too crazy. Now, if you're trying to run the latest graphically demanding games, you might hit some lag.
So it's like having a reliable daily driver, not a sports car, but it gets you where you need to go.
Precisely. Think of it this way. It's got enough under the hood for those everyday tasks, but maybe not built for speed racing.
Right. Makes sense.
We did see one user, D-Dive Dude, mention some issues with the GPS and gyroscope, though.
So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you rely on your phone for navigation or use apps that need those features.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, no phone deep dive is complete without talking about the camera.
True.
The BLU G63 boasts dual 13MP rear cameras.
On paper, that sounds pretty good, especially for a phone in this price range. But what's the word on the street? How do the pictures actually look?
You know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a phone by its spec sheet.
Yeah.
From the user reviews we've seen, the camera performs pretty well in good lighting. You can definitely get some shareable shots for social media.
Okay, that's good.
But like many budget phones, low light situations can be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a classic case of trade-offs when it comes to budget tech.
Speaking of trade-offs, one thing that really caught my eye with the BLU G63 is that it runs on Android 13. That's the latest version, right?
That's right. And it's not something you typically see in a phone at this price point.
Really?
Usually budget phones get stuck with older versions of Android.
Right. So for our listeners who might not be software savvy, why is that a big deal?
Think of it like this. Having the latest Android version is like having the newest operating system on your computer. It usually comes with performance improvements, new features, and perhaps most importantly, the latest security updates.
So with Android 13, you're getting those updates, which means the phone is better protected against the latest digital threats.
Exactly. It's like having a good security system on your phone. It's important for any smartphone, but even more impressive to see on a budget-friendly option.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, from screen size to battery life to that surprisingly up-to-date software, so let's bring it all together.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the BLU G63 isn't trying to be everything for everyone. It's a phone that understands its lane.
Okay, so who is this phone perfect for then?
Imagine this. You need a reliable backup phone, something you can toss in your bag and know it'll be there when you need it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're looking for a first smartphone for your kid, something that can handle the basics without breaking the bank.
Right.
That's who the BLU G63 is for.
So it's not about having the flashiest phone on the block. It's about having a phone that just works without the premium price tag.
And that's a breath of fresh air in today's tech world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype of the latest and greatest gadgets. But the BLU G63 reminds us that sometimes simpler is better.
It makes you think about what really matters in a phone, right?
It really does. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Absolutely.
This phone sparks a conversation that goes beyond specs and numbers.
Yeah,
It makes you question your own tech needs. Do
definitely.
you need all the bells and whistles, or are you looking for something that just works without draining your wallet?
Right.
It's something to keep in mind the next time you're scrolling through those phone deals.
I love it. Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. In a world of endless options, don't be afraid to look beyond the hype and ask yourself, what do I really need from my tech? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.